What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Mad Max Loco recap, January 18th, 2026. And we have a lot to talk about. A lot happened this week, not only in the world of low country sports, but of course, the actual world of sports. We're going to talk about all that right now. We'll start off with some high school basketball, some interesting scores over this past Friday. Um, a lot of interesting things took place, including girls and boys basketball, and we're going to get to them right now. Starting with girls basketball scores, Bishop England gets the win over Bluffton 53-41. Bluffton put up a good fight, but just wasn't enough. Beaufort continues to roll. This girls' team is something special. After getting wins over Bishop England, who we all thought was the favorites in this region, it doesn't seem to be that way anymore. It looks like Beaufort might be the sole team out of this region, this 4A region, to be something special and possibly a deep run playoff team. And they showed it again on Friday night against May River. Got the win 62-42 at home, 62-32, 30-point win in favor of the Beaufort Eagles. So this Beaufort High School team is just continuing to play some real good basketball. Hanahan gets the win over Battery Creek 51-43. Good game for Battery Creek, but just couldn't get the job done. Lake Marion 68-34 over Bridges Prep. And then Whale Branch gets the win over Hampton County. Let me see if I have the score here. Hold on. I know I put it down in the banner below us. Let's check it out here. 53-45 in favor of Whale Branch. Good win for them. That Hampton County girls team, though, is still a good team. They're just hitting some hard times at the moment. So, still keep an eye on that Hampton County team. Hardyville gets the win over Royal Live Oaks. That's Hardyville's first win on the season. So congratulations to the Hardyville Hurricanes. Congrats to them. JP2 63-27 over Trinity Collegiate. JP2's girls team's continuing to roll and play some really good basketball. Hilton Head Prep girls 36-28 over Hilton Head Christian Academy. Both of these teams aren't what they used to be. This Hilton Head Prep team was real solid last year. HACA used to be the dominant women's program in the area, but it's just a new day of women's sports. I don't have scores for North Charleston against Cross, although I will keep looking for them. And then Andrew Jackson at Holy Trinity. I don't have Andrew Jackson Academy, at Holy Trinity. Don't have a score there. Now, boys basketball. Bluffton gets the win over Bishop England, 63-48. Good win for the Bluffton Bobcats. Harry Skinner, Malcolm Gordon, and the rest of this crew playing some really good basketball right now. 9 wins in a row for them. Now, the shocker of the night. Beaufort boys basketball takes down May River 64-62. I have no idea what happened this week with May River. I am shocked with that score. And I think we're going to be talking about it just a bit more on Monday on the Lowco Sports Lowdown. And they definitely talked about it last night too. But, at halftime, Beaufort was up 43-24 over May River at half. This Beaufort boys team, if we look them up right now, they have not been the strongest team in basketball this season, and it's completely obvious. We all expected them to finish towards the bottom of the region, but and for good reason. 2-11 on the year. Their 2 wins came to Swansea and May River. And they put up a good fight earlier this week against Bishop England, 60 in the 73-62 loss, and had a good game against Colleton County too, but still lost that one 50-44. But this May River team going into this past week was undefeated. They were undefeated. They lost to Hilton Head, and we thought it was going to be a good game between those two teams. I didn't expect Hilton Head to beat them, but they did, and it was a close game too. It was a 4-point game going into the last few seconds, and that was the first loss. And we were like, okay, they're going to get back on track against Beaufort because it's Beaufort. Beaufort has just not been a good team. Very young team, very inexperienced team. they got the job done. I mean, once we have our group chat with all of our guys giving us info on games and stuff like that. And Marcus Walsh of WHHI, of course, was at the game out in Beaufort on Ladies Island and texted us the halftime score. And hold on. Okay. Texted the halftime score, and I was shocked. And I think everyone else was shocked too, by what the halftime score was, a 43-24 lead in favor of Beaufort. We thought that was going to be the other way around. We thought May River was going to get out on a real strong start. But now they have 2 losses in region play. Their first 2 losses of the year. The thing for me is, what do they need to fix? I mean, this team is usually so good at just playing good basketball, and sometimes when they have a bad night, they have a bad night. But usually, even on bad nights, they don't play this bad. Especially for a half against a team like Beaufort that has not been really very good this year. They've really struggled as a team. And to see them get a win over this May River program is not only shocking, but in Beaufort's side of things, very hopeful for what the future could be for Beaufort basketball. But for May River, you got to be disappointed. And I just wonder, how do they get back on track? Because right now they are third in the region. If that, they may be lower than that right now. I think they're third. And or they would be tied for second because Hilton Head started out with a 0-2 record. They got the win against May River. Did they play on Friday night? No, they didn't. So they're tied with May River for second place right now. That or they're tied for third, and Bishop England's got a 2-1 record. But we'll take a look at that in just a second. I will be right back. I have a text message that I have to handle, so give me 1 second. We'll be back to talk about the rest of high school basketball. Be right back. But yeah, now we're good. All right, let's talk about the rest of basketball. Obviously, disappointing loss for May River. Moving down, Battery Creek gets the win over Hanahan, 50-45. Battery Creek is still undefeated in region play. They got North Charleston coming up, and we'll talk about upcoming games for the week in just a second. But Battery Creek's looking really good right now through the first couple games of region play. Let's see who else. Lake Marion at Bridges Prep. Let me look for a score for that one. Give me 1 second. While I look for that, let's go over the rest of them. Hampton County gets a 74-36 win over Whale Branch. Hampton County is really, really good right now. Hardyville gets the win over Royal Live Oaks. I have the final score here. Actually, give me a second. Let's see. I believe it was 56-34. See if I got it here. I know it's here somewhere. Yep, final score 56-34. Good win for the Hardyville boys. They are now 4-1 in region play. 4-1. Their one loss came to Denmark Olar earlier this week, and it was a good game too between those two teams, and actually a game that Hardyville could have won. It just got away from them in the end. So this Hardyville boys team is really solid. You got to keep an eye on them as they make it towards the playoffs, which I think as of right now they're going to get in. Skis of basketball, JP2 wins 60-44 over Trinity Collegiate. I don't have a score for Andrew Jackson Academy at Holy Trinity. Cross Boys wins 71-50 over Thomas Hayward, and Hilton Head Christian Academy gets the win over Hilton Head Prep. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, that is the first time in 2 years that the Eagles have taken down the Dolphins 69-47. It wasn't close either. HACA pulled away with a really great win. And right now, the HACA boys team looks like they're building this program towards something special. So really good win by the Eagles of Hilton Head Christian. All right. College basketball. Well, actually, before we get to that, let's go over the upcoming week for high school basketball. No games on Monday. Well, one game on Monday, MLK Day. Coastal Homeschool at Hilton Head Christian Academy Girls. That's a 6:00 game. But Tuesday is where all the games show up for this week. The WHHI game of the week, Bluffton will be at Beaufort for both boys and girls. May River will be at Colleton County for both boys and girls. North Charleston at Battery Creek, boys and girls. Bridges Prep at Hampton County. Barnwell at Whale Branch. Bamberg Earhart at Ridgeland. And Cross Schools at Hilton Head Prep for girls basketball. And then the one other boys basketball game, JP2 will be at Camden Military for a good region matchup between those two. Wednesday, May River will be at Whale Branch for both girls and boys basketball. JP2 will be at Hilton Head Prep for boys basketball, so that'll be very interesting. Thursday, St. Andrews will be traveling from Savannah to take on the JP2 girls. And then on Friday, got a good few games here. May River at Bluffton should be a good one. I will be trying to do my best to make it there for the boys game. Beaufort at Hilton Head. That's also a really good one. Colleton County at Bishop England. Hardyville at Ridgeland. Also very good matchup there for the boys basketball. JP2 at Lawrence Manning. Also interesting matchup there. And then the other girls games will be HACA at Wilson Hall. Hilton Head Prep at St. John's Christian. And Cross Schools at Holy Trinity. And that's actually both girls and boys with that game. So that will be the Friday. Any games on Saturday? No. So those are all the upcoming games for the week for high school basketball. We have a few good ones there, including that May River Bluffton game, round 2 of 3 rounds between the boys teams. Remember, last time these two went up against each other was an overtime thriller at the Battery Creek Classic Championship game. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these two teams go at it again on Friday at Bluffton. Any other really good games coming up this next week? Hardyville at Ridgeland, obviously, the boys teams. That should be a really good matchup. Any other ones that pop out? Bridges Prep at Hampton County. I think Hampton County will roll over them. Let's see here. Bamberg Earhart at Ridgeland. That should be a very interesting game. Anything else? May River at Colleton County. Right now, with how May River has played this week, that game at Colleton County might be yet another trap game for them, because Colleton County home games are, from what I've heard, pretty special and extremely exciting, and definitely a home advantage. So May River might have a trap game there. All right. Let's get into USCB basketball, because we have quite a lot of things to talk about that one with those two teams there. Let's talk about USCB men's and women's played on Wednesday against on the road at Georgia Southwestern in Americus, Georgia. Women's gets the 74-66 win. Impressive games from Tanaya Bowman, and Lydia Gattosi. Men's game, USCB hammers Georgia Southwestern, wins by 21 points, 95-74 over the Hurricanes of Georgia Southwestern. And then on Saturday, the big games took place. Sorry. North Georgia comes to town. North Georgia women's has been one of the top teams in the country over the last few years. The North Georgia men's team has been one of the top teams in the country so far this season, ranked 10th in the latest NCAA polls. USCB comes in and sweeps North Georgia. We'll talk about the women's game first here. USCB women's gets the 68-64 win over North Georgia. USCB is now 10-7 on the season, 7-3 in Peach Belt play. North Georgia with that loss is now 12-7 and 7-2 in Peach Belt play. Or that may have been the records coming in. Let's check the PBC standings. Here we go. All right, let's see here. Nope, that's the officials. So North Georgia is now 7-2, USCB 7-3. USCB is third in the women's basketball standings right now, and looking at a potential home game for the USCB women's team. North Georgia is 7-2 now, and as well as Columbus State. And by the way, USCB had a really close game against that Columbus State team, which is ranked 19th in the country right now. So really good win for them, and a really impressive win. And it gives USCB a chance to stay within half a game of first place, and that's a really great feeling if you're a USCB women's basketball fan as much as I am. So it's going to be really fun. Let's go over the stats real quick for that game. All right, here we go. Let's see. Tania Bowman, 35 minutes, 26 points, a steal, 6 rebounds. Janiah Hayward, 25 points, 1 steal, 1 assist, and 6 rebounds. Samantha Bardonaro, 7 points, 4 steals, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds. Lydia Gattosi only had 3 points, but also had 2 assists and 4 rebounds herself. I mean, God, Tania and Janiah were the duo of the day. I mean, Janiah Hayward, 10 of 16 from the field, 1 for 1 in 3-point field goals, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. You know, Tania Bowman, 8 of 13 from the field, 10 of 10 from the free throw line. That makes a whole difference right there. And so it just, what a game from the team as a whole. I mean, pretty much all these players got playing time in this game, and that's one of the things I like about the way Sharon Versup runs this team, is that everybody's getting playing time. It keeps everyone fresh and healthy. You know, it's a really good basketball team right now. As a team, 45.3% field goal percentage, 3-point percentage right around 33%, and then free throw percentage is the key marker in this one. 81%, 18 of 22 from the free throw line. That is fantastic for USCB. Just a really great game for this USCB women's basketball team, and you know, keeps them sitting in a really good spot right now for what's to come for them. And we'll talk about what's their upcoming schedule in just a second. Now, the men's team coming in, playing North Georgia, the number 10 team in the country, and USCB. It came down to the wire again at home. Shocking. Thank God I wasn't there, because I would have lost another 2 years of my life just by sitting or standing and watching that game. But USCB gets the job done and gets the sweep of North Georgia, 77-75 in favor of the Sand Sharks. And boy, what a game it was for these players. Dominic Eason, 18 points, 1 block, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Great game for him. 6 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line, and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. So really good game by Dominic Eason. Dylan Lewis had 11 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, and 4 turnovers. Really good game for Dylan Lewis. Evan Kilminster doing Evan Kilminster things again. 9 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds. Just a good game from him. Kevon Price was back in the lineup today. Lineup yesterday, I should say. 3 points, 1 block, 1 rebound. I mean, it's great to have him back on the court. We missed seeing Kevon Price out on the court for the Sand Sharks team, but he's back. Nolan Paladuco had 2 points. 2 points for the team. Let's see. Ismail Rashid had 10 points, a steal, an assist, and 3 rebounds. Great game for him. Shea Champagne had 7 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound. Great game for him. Hudson Norton seems to be back on track. 7 points, 3 steals, an assist, and a rebound as well. Seth Cullen had 5 points. Kerwan Anderson had 5 points. This team, pretty much the entire team. Actually, the entire team played today. All of them played, and all of them had at least 5 points. That's impressive. That is it's just, man, Ron Fudala is a genius when it comes to running this team properly. Total field goal percentage, 54.9%. 3-point, they were 47.8% from the 3-point line, and from the free throw line, 10 of 19 for 52.6%. Not the best numbers, but I mean, man, what a game these guys played. And I was watching it as I was heading home from Hardyville High School, which we're going to talk about in just a second. Something that's coming up and finishing up tomorrow on MLK Day. So we'll get to that in a second. But just great games from them. You look at North Georgia, had points across the board as well. Really good game from them. Zach Hawkinson, 12 points. Colin Turner had 10 points. AJ White had 8 points. Who else? Jameel Whiteout and Jamari Arnold both had 14 points. So, North Georgia stayed in the game because of those 2 players right there, along with Zach Hawkinson. So, I mean, that's a very solid North Georgia team. But with this win for USCB, you got to put them. You would think you'd have to put them in the conversation for potentially being a top 25 team. You just took down the number 10 team. You both have the same record, and USCB is now sitting higher than North Georgia in the conference standings. I wouldn't put it past the NCAA to say they may need to be looked at for someone to sit into possibly being, a conversation for a top 25 ranking the way they've been playing. You'd have to put them in there. There's no way USCB does not get, at least votes towards the top 25 with what they've had impressive wins over Columbus State and North Georgia over the last 2 weeks. You got to put them in there. So with that, the basketball standings, Lander stays at 7-2. They're sitting atop the Peach Belt Conference. They, alongside USCB, should probably be in the conversation for NCAA top 25. I think they should be both in that conversation. Columbus State sits just behind, half a game behind USCB with a 6-3 record. USCB's half game behind Lander with a 7-3 record. Lander's got a 7-2 record. North Georgia's also got a 6-3 record now with that loss, that's Georgia College with a 6-3 record. North Georgia has a 5-4 record, and then down the list goes Georgia Southwestern, Flagler, USC Aiken with a 4-5 record, and Middle Georgia with a 3-6 record. They've been impressive this year, and then Augusta and Clayton State sit at the bottom. And that is the Peach Belt Conference standings as of right now. Upcoming schedule this week for USCB. Let's get into it here. Let's see here. Monday afternoon or evening, time is to be determined. I assume that's an afternoon game. Fayetteville State comes and travels to play USCB in a non-conference matchup for MLK Day. Great day for some USCB basketball. And then on Wednesday, we do not have any games for Wednesday for USCB. So then we go to Saturday, and we have some interesting games on Saturday because it is the rivalry that USC Aiken apparently doesn't think it's a rivalry, but it is. It is. There's no way it's not. They say it's not, but we say yes, it is. USC Aiken will travel to play USCB at 1:30 the women's game, at 3:30 the men's game. I'm trying to see what was the scores the last time they played each other to start out the season. Let's see if I can get it here. Here we go. Pumped. Da-da-da. Sorry. My Wi-Fi decides it wants to be a pain in the butt today. There we go. All right, women's. Let's see here. So they do not have a game until Saturday, so they get some time off. Last time those two teams played, USCB got the win on the road at the Convocation Center at USC Aiken. 72-64 was the win for the women's team. Men's team, unfortunately, did not get the win over USC Aiken. It was down to the wire between these two teams, but USC Aiken gets the 74-73 win the last time around back in December 3rd. So we are looking, very solidly for some revenge from the men's team, and the women's team obviously is going to want to try to sweep their conference, their series, the series they have this year over USC Aiken. USCB looking to get the revenge win over USC Aiken, and then the following Wednesday, the 28th, 10 days out, USCB will be on the road at Augusta. And it should be some fun times over in Augusta. And then, of course, at the Cove this next Saturday between USC Aiken and USCB. So that is the USCB scores. We're going to take a break here real quick. When we come back, we'll be talking about some college football. Of course, the national championships coming up tomorrow. Man, it's tomorrow. We'll be talking about the national championship game between Indiana and Miami when we come back, as well as currently NFL games, the divisional round going on right now. And we're going to be talking about the interesting ending to the Denver-Buffalo game. We don't really need to talk about the Seattle Seahawks, do we? I mean, come on. It was kind of a blowout. We'll talk about all of that, though, when we come back here on the Mad Max Lowco Recap. All right, welcome back to the Mad Max Local Recap. Um, let's talk some college football. Obviously, one last game before the college football season ends. Of course, the portal window has opened up a lot of stuff there. We're not going to get into that now. We'll get into that once the transfer portal seems to die down, which won't be probably until late this month or early into next month before we see some, a little less between these two, the transfer portal window. It's interesting. Um, let's get into the game tomorrow night. Indiana in Miami taking on the Miami Hurricanes, but Indiana's favorite. 7.5-point favorites. I guess if you look at the spread, 8.5-point favorites over the Miami Hurricanes. Over under 47.5. Yeah, I don't know what I would take. I assume I'd take the over. I think. I think it's the over, but that's just my opinion. It should be interesting between these two teams, but I think I kind of like Indiana in this game. Fernando Mendoza has been absolutely amazing. Hemby, the running back's been great for Indiana. Cooper Jr., the great receiver for them. And then on the other side, of course, you got Carson Beck, Fletcher Jr., the running back, Malik Toney, who is a fantastic player at receiver. Absolutely love that guy. It's going to be interesting to see how these two stack up. You look at the last 5 games for both these teams. Obviously, Miami with the win over Ole Miss got the win against Ohio State, Texas A&M, and then the 2 games before that, of course, were Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech, where they easily got the wins there. Indiana, their last games, a little more interesting, of course. Beating Oregon, Alabama, Ohio State, and then they beat Purdue and Wisconsin pretty easily to go and head towards the Big Ten championship game and, of course, the college football playoffs. So it's going to be very interesting at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. I'm wondering if we think, obviously home field advantage is going to be a key in this one for Miami. You got to think a lot of Miami fans are going to show up here and do the best that they can to make it an advantage towards, of course, the Hurricanes. But in the back of your mind, you're just saying, I just can't get past that Indiana football team. And for me, the biggest issue I have is that I want to see Miami make this a good ball game. But on the other end of it, I just think Indiana's got maybe a little too much for Miami to handle. But I would say this: Miami's taking down some really tough teams. I mean, you take down Texas A&M at Kyle Field, and I've said this before: Texas A&M football games, some of the most underrated atmospheres, if not the most underrated atmosphere in college football. People forget how loud that place can be, especially during a playoff game. You get a good win there. Then you take down, probably outside of Indiana, one of the championship favorites in Ohio State, and you controlled that game the entire way. You get a 24-14 win over Ohio State. Then you play an Ole Miss team that looked like they were going to give you a fight, and they did really give Miami a fight. Miami got the win in the last minute of the game to give a 31-27 victory for the Hurricanes to go to the national championship game. Meanwhile, Indiana, their last 3 games, you have Ohio State, that 13-10 win over Ohio State at the Big Ten championship game, one of their closest games all year. And then you absolutely annihilate Alabama and Oregon in back-to-back weeks. The way this Indiana team's playing, good luck stopping them. Good luck stopping them. They're a tough team. They're good. They're well coached, clearly. I mean, Kirk Cignetti is the best coach in college football right now. There's no doubt in my mind there. There's no one better. So you gotta look through all of this and you gotta say to yourself, do you see Miami having any chance of hanging with Indiana for 4 quarters? And for me, that answer is no. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Clip it. Sorry, I'm gonna try something today. The streaming platform I use is StreamYard, and they have this thing. You get AI generated clips that you can post on YouTube Shorts and Instagram later on. And a new feature they have is this thing that basically you say it during a broadcast, and it will generate a clip for you. And how you say it, you say clip it. It's really cool, actually. I can't wait to try it now. Now that I've done it. So yeah, that's college football for you, and that's pretty much it right now. But I would say the one thing that's intrigued me during the current transfer portal window is one of the teams that's been active, and I do mean active, in the transfer portal is Clemson. Clemson, Clemson, active in the transfer portal. When did you ever think Clemson was going to be active in the transfer portal? And that's exactly what they've been doing. They've been picking up defensive players left, right, and center. They picked up a great running back from SMU. I mean, one of the fastest running backs in the game right now. You know, a 4.3 40. 4.3 4.3. I think it's 4.3. They're picking up players. You got a new offensive coordinator, or a new slash old offensive coordinator, former offensive coordinator of the Clemson Tigers, Chad Morris, has returned. Tom Allen's still the defensive coordinator for Clemson. So, I mean, they're picking up players. Is it safe to say Dabo Sweeney's kind of opened up to the transfer portal? He may not like it, but he knows that he has to use it. And I guess I think he's realized that. And honestly, that's a good thing. It's a really good thing. And I don't think they're done yet picking up transfers. They've already picked up more than they picked up last year. They only picked up a few players last year, including Tristan Smith, that extremely tall but very, very skillful wide receiver from southeastern Missouri. And of course, Will Helt, the defensive end from Purdue, who was a huge help this year to that Clemson defense. Despite the record that they had this year, he was a huge help down the last half of the season, where Clemson really started picking up some wins left, right, and center. And the way Clemson's putting things together, you got to be happy, though, because, of course, Moore and Bryant Wesco Jr. are both returning. Your top two returning wide receivers are returning to Clemson for next season. It's a big deal. And hopefully Bryant Wesco is going to be okay. He had a real scary injury during the season, kept him out pretty much an entire half year, half the season, the second half of the season. So hopefully those two will be ready to go. The question is, who's going to be your quarterback? And that's a whole conversation to have when spring games come around for college teams. You got to look at Clemson and say, who's the option? And possibly you might get a quarterback in the transfer portal. Who knows? I know Aiden Childs has been linked, the Michigan State quarterback who's now in the portal. He's been linked. We'll see where he ends up going. He may go to Clemson. A lot of people have been saying he might go to Clemson. But if no one picks up a quarterback, you got two options at quarterback. And it's going to be interesting to see who's the next quarterback for Clemson. I did see they picked up did pick up a quarterback. Did they? No, they didn't. He actually left. Cade Trotter, former Clemson quarterback, committed to Arkansas yesterday, I believe. You got Vizena. which will be an interesting one. He'll be a senior next year. Vizina, excuse me. He'll be a senior this year, so it'll be interesting. And then you got Chris Denson, who is a freshman this year. He'll be a sophomore this next season. That or he was redshirted possibly, so it might be a freshman next year. I've seen him play a few games this season, and honestly, I want him as the next quarterback. I like Vizina, but I like what Chris Denson can do. A dual threat quarterback, electric dual threat quarterback with a great arm, and he's, I think, one of the fastest quarterbacks Clemson's ever had. I'd start him, but hey, who knows? All right, moving on. NFL playoff games currently going on right now. Let's get the scores here. Obviously, the Patriots are up 7-3 over the Texans right now. They're still in the first quarter. Later tonight will be the final divisional game, I believe. Is that the last one? Yes, it is. Rams will be in Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois, to take on the Bears. Should be a great game between those two. LA's favored at 3.5, but I wouldn't put it past the Bears to get a win here. They're a really good team. Really, really good team. Now, last night, Seahawks get the 41-6 win over the 49ers. You looked as you went into the second quarter and you just said, yep, ball game. 17 points in the first quarter for the Seahawks. 17, including the very first play of the game, a 95-yard kickoff return to give them a 7-0 lead, and it went all downhill from there for the 49ers. I mean, the Seahawks scored at least a touchdown in every quarter. 17, 7, 10, and 7 through those 4 quarters. They were just rolling. Absolutely rolling. Look at the box score here. Sam Darnold, 12 of 17 for 124 yards, 1 touchdown. Not the best night for him, but he didn't do terrible. Brock Purdy, 15 of 27, 140 yards, 1 interception, so he didn't do great. Mac Jones came in. He was 2 of 4 for 4 yards. Just not a good night for San Francisco in terms of passing. The player of the game had to have been Kenneth Walker. 19 carries, 116 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Three touchdowns. Rashid Shaheed, 2 carries, 27 yards. Really, really good game. Zach Charbonnet had 5 carries, 20 yards. They ran the football down the throat of, San Francisco. Cooper Kupp had 5 receptions for 60 yards. Kenneth Walker, 3 receptions for 29 yards. So on top of the 3 rushing touchdowns and 116 rushing yards, he had 29 passing yards as well. Jackson Smith and Jigma had 3 receptions, 19 yards, had a pass, caught for a touchdown. A really good game by the Seattle team. They're super dangerous. They might be the favorites right now for the NFC. People like the Rams, but God, the NFC West was stacked this year. Stacked, absolutely stacked. Then the game that the Bills will remember in the worst of ways forever. The Buffalo Bills lose in overtime, 33-30 to the Denver Broncos. And I can honestly say right now, I'm kind of on Justin's side after this game. I want the Denver Broncos to lose next week in the AFC Championship game because I so wanted to see the Bills get past these Broncos on the road. And honestly, they should have. They should have. Buffalo had... let's just put it this way. The refs screwed them. The refs screwed him. Everybody knows it. They screwed him. That play with I can't remember who was catching the ball. But that play that became an interception in overtime, thrown by Josh Allen, was just it was a catch. It was not an interception. It was a catch. The dude had possession going down to the ground. When he hit the ground, he still had the ball. And the Bronco defender ripped it out after he had landed on the ground with the ball, and they called it an interception. But here's the thing that pisses me off the most. You didn't replay it? You didn't go to the review system? Why? Why? It's allowed. It's allowed in overtime if something controversial happens. And yet for some reason they didn't review it. I don't understand that. He had full possession when he landed. Full possession. Full possession when he landed. And you didn't review the play. You just, let's run with an interception there. And that interception led to the Broncos moving down the field to get the game-winning field goal. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I am furious. And Buffalo Bills fans should be furious. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I just don't understand it. How? How? How do the refs not make that call? How do the refs not review that call? Then there were some controversial pass interference plays that really just led to the demise of the Buffalo Bills. And for another season, Josh Allen's not going to make it to the Super Bowl. That's disappointing. It's just disappointing. Clip it. Bo Nix, 26 of 46 for 279 yards. Oh, that's the other thing, by the way. He's done for the year. Apparently broke his ankle on that second to last play, so he is done. Threw 3 touchdowns, threw an interception as well. He had a good night. Josh Allen, 25 of 39 for 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, one of them that shouldn't have been an interception, but it was. The one thing I can say on Denver's behalf is that defense was rocking. They were rocking. They were playing some good football. Sacked Josh Allen 3 times for a loss of 17 yards. Just really good, really good defense by Denver. James Cook, 24 carries for 117 yards. Josh Allen had 66 rushing yards himself. Bo Nix had 29 rushing yards and was actually the most rushing yards on the team. You had Jaleel McLaughlin had 21 rushing yards. RJ Harvey, 20 rushing yards. Not much there for Denver. Then you had, Dalton Kincaid had 6 receptions for 83 yards, had a touchdown. Keon Coleman had a touchdown, as well as Miko Harden Jr. had a touchdown. I mean, just it's frustrating. It's got to be frustrating for the Buffalo Bills. You should have won that game, and I think they were going to win that game had it not been for the refs screwing everything up. Marvin Mims Jr. had a great night for Denver in receiving, 8 receptions, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Cortland Sutton, 4 receptions, 53 yards. He had a decent night. Lil Jordan Humphrey had 2 receptions, 33 yards, and a touchdown. Frank Crum had a reception for 7 yards, which was a touchdown. Just good game by them. Josh Allen had 3 fumbles, by the way, and that was one of the key factors. Had he not had those fumbles, we may have been looking at a different game here, because he lost 2 of those 3 fumbles. Bo Nix had a fumble himself, but he didn't lose the football. He recovered it. James Cook had a fumble. They were being a little careless with the football, I'm going to be honest. But that Denver defense is just really solid. But still, they screwed him over. It's funny. I was looking at some of the comments after the game had happened. Of course, I was at Giuseppe's out in Bluffton, watching the game with some other Buffalo Bills fans that were in the building, a couple Denver Bronco fans in there as well. And I think they were just as furious as I was, if not more furious, at how that game was just refereed. It was just terrible. How it was officiated was absolutely horrible in that overtime. Just, I mean, they fumbled the bag, majorly fumbled the bag. And I was looking at comments on social media after the game, and one of them said, "Great win, refs. Really fought hard for that one." Is he wrong? I mean, is he wrong? I don't think he is. I mean, honestly, like the refs really fumbled the bag with that game, and there's going to be some conversation as to why the review system didn't come into play with that play. That could have been, if called a completed pass, would have led to Buffalo Bill winning that game. After, of course, in the press conference, I'm sure a lot of you saw Josh Allen, said, I feel like I let my team down. If he's watching, I doubt he is, but if he is, you didn't let your team down. The referees let you down. Your team didn't let you down. You didn't let your team down. Y'all fought till the very end. The referees fucked you over. Pardon the language, but that is true. They screwed you. And it's disturbing. It's disturbing. And I wish that was not the case, but it was. But all in all, it was a great game. I'll give credit to both these teams. It was one heck of a game. You couldn't ask for a better and better divisional round game. And it might be the game of the week. We'll see how that Bears Rams game goes. Although the Texans have the lead now, 10-7 over the Patriots. So it's getting interesting. In the back of my mind, I kind of want to see the Texans make it to the next round. Because I am a big fan of CJ Stroud. I'm a huge fan of him. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, just disappointing. You wanted to finish your last season at, Highmark Stadium. You want to finish your last season before you go to the new Highmark Stadium with a Super Bowl win. Buffalo Bills fans have waited too long for a Super Bowl title. They're going to get it one day. They are going to get it. And it's going to be with Josh Allen as their quarterback. I guarantee you that. I think they will. And if not, he'll go down as one of the great quarterbacks, one of the greatest quarterbacks to never win a Super Bowl. And I really hope that doesn't happen for him. I really hope it doesn't happen. It's just disappointing. And I'm not even a Bills fan, but I was kind of rooting for them in this game. After they beat Jacksonville, I gave them props and I said, all right, then let's see you go all the way. And it just didn't happen. It's unfortunate. All right, let's wrap it up here. Coming up tomorrow, obviously it's Martin Luther King Day, so obviously big celebration. I'm a huge fan of Martin Luther King Jr. And the work that he did for the country and for African American civil rights, and it's just it's a very special day for a lot of people, not just across the country, but generally here in our area. Beaufort County, Jasper County, Colleton County, Hampton County, all the African American population here, knows how special of a day it is to celebrate the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So, obviously, happy MLK Day to everyone. But I get to go be a PA announcer for some basketball games, some JV basketball games at the Hardyville Martin Luther King, the Hardyville MLK tournament, JV basketball tournament. Got a bunch of teams from the area: Barringburg, Earhart, Battery Creek, May River, Hilton Head. All their JV and freshman teams are here. Obviously, Hardyville, Ridgeland's in the building as well. So we're gonna have a lot of fun tomorrow for the second and final day of the Martin Luther King Classic. I guess we could call it the Hardyville MLK Classic between some of the top JV basketball teams in the area, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're bored tomorrow because you're not working for whatever reason, come on and come watch some JV basketball. It'll be a lot of fun. Coming up on the Lowco Media Network, the One Lowco Hoops Happy Hour will be back on, hopefully. I think with, of course, Matthew Fisher-Davis and Robbie Benson alongside Justin Jarrett. And then, of course, tonight, the Lowco Grind with Justin Jarrett and some of the top names in wrestling from around the area, including Mr. George Dixon, who, if you didn't watch their episode from last week, I highly suggest you go watch it because there's some real fun moments in there with, of course, the great George Dixon. So, he's probably going to be back on tonight, possibly. So stay tuned for those shows. And then we will see you back here, hopefully, possibly Monday night. If not Monday night, it'll be Tuesday night after all the basketball games on Tuesday for the Lowco Sports Lowdown with, of course, myself, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Marcus Walsh. And then whoever decides to come and hop on as guest for us. And we'll see who that guest will be come this next week. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you, viewers, for continuing to support. Thank you to the Lowco Sports sponsors for the Lowco Sports Lowdown. But speaking of sponsors, before we go, I want to say I am looking for sponsors for this show. Someone to, be a great sponsor for the show. And I got to make money where I can, and this is one way of doing it. So for any of you who would like to sponsor me and help me continue to cover the Lowcountry sports scene, please feel free to call me or contact me. And you can contact me through Justin Jarrett and talk about sponsoring this show for the rest of the year. So that's going to do it for us, I think. Yeah, there's nothing else to talk about. That's going to do it for us. I want to thank everyone. Thank the sponsors for continuing to help Lowco Sports go and grow. But I would love to have Lowco Sports sponsors come and support this show here, the Mad Max Lowco Recap, which has become a weekly thing. And I'm very excited that it's become a weekly thing. And my dogs are barking a storm now outside. Someone probably came to the front door. Which means it's time for me to go. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the Lowco Hoops Happy Hour and the Lowco Grind, and then the Lowco Sports Lowdown on possibly Monday or Tuesday night. So I will see everyone then. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Mad Max Lowco Recap. And until next time, go Lowco.